We'll see if anyone shows up. There's still that possibility.
Everybody's busy. Well, when does midterms? Is that what a lot of them
No,
are doing?
it's internal assessments.
Oh,
And
IAs were
this is like the last week of so it's.
fair enough. Lars, was this your cup? No.
No. Yeah.
So pretty.
It's so funny.
He's got quite a gap year planned. He's going to, after Libya, he's going back to Pakistan and India for a bit, and Palestine to work for an NGO there.
Oh, with Mahindra. Oh, that's our friend. He's trying to become the president of Palestine. He wrote me a birthday wish and signed it. Future president. Yeah, but it doesn't work as a. Okay, that's interesting. Because it doesn't work as.
Oh, so you're just viewing it?
Yeah.
Interesting. So
we could have tried it before, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll actually do it.
Okay, so we're not going to be able to see when somebody shows up. We'll just be talking to the faceless.
Oh, really?
But we should be able to see the viewers.
Yeah, like I think they'll be able to.
Oh, there's one viewer.
So, but it's probably you. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably. But we can also. You have the list. Okay. Because you can invite people. So if I think now you can invite people.
But they're already.
Because so if you. Try to just write Lars. Just trying to make it work.
Oh, I could like somebody hit it on the ground.
Yeah, now try to.
Hi, Paulina. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Sure you got thrown in a lake.
Yeah, not thrown.
You have to walk the
Peer
plank.
pressure.
So.
Did you send an email with this? More information about it?
I did too. Oh, so I think there's somebody viewing now. It's so weird though that we can't see.
If you have any questions, you should ask us because we don't know what are we supposed to talk about right now.
I think this is.
Are there people there?
No, maybe it's me. I don't know. There's someone.
It's tough to say.
I think those things. I don't think we reach out.
Oh, Sonia is asking whether it's
I just think that it's going to be very too wide.
Yeah,
But I can.
on the ground.
Okay. Or I can sit also here.
okay.
Well, it is like two.
Let's see here.
Because I still didn't even get your invitation.
You didn't, huh?
Oh, maybe if I go to Hangouts.
Yeah, it's probably come through Hangouts.
For Esther? To go travel?
Can you try?
Oh, of course, yeah, the layover is always such a hassle.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was using I had a Canadian passport and a Japanese passport.
Maybe I actually went to Spain.
So I remember the ESTA, and it got so mad. Like, you don't have your ESTA, blah, 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 blah. I was like,
What's your extra?
you just,
For stopping over in the US.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, do you need that?
yeah, most.
Okay,
many
are you
countries
stopping over in the
do.
Yeah,
I
shit.
just did this today, like just before coming here. It's really easy.
It's
Like, mine
really
already got
easy.
approved, but
It's
you just have to do it.
Okay.
And it's $14.
It's fine.
So silly.
This is hi world. There you go. You got the message.
Can we see if there's anybody there?
Okay. So now we have 2 cameras.
One camera to see the view.
Wait, I'm gonna get Sonia to join actually because I can generate a link.
Is it just Sonia?
Yeah, if it's just Sonia, we can just Skype her too.
Let's just Skype Sonia. Oh, I cannot invite people. Okay. So
But I
what?
can.
Yeah. So if you send me that link.
Double Lars.
Okay, Sonia is asking whether she's supposed to see him. Okay, Sonia, wait. We're gonna just hang out with you as well because. You're just seeing us. Wait, I'm gonna send you a link. Okay, you're gonna join this. Annalie is asking me her. Hey. I'm.
So useful. They didn't have a one-to-one contact with you.
Oh, there's
They oh, the 3 of them are there.
somebody just sent you an email.
It's all happening. There, it's Emily.
Oh, Moncha is there as well? Oh, that's awesome. No, we cannot hear you. So what you have to do is click on that link and join the hangout as well. Is someone joining?
Doesn't look like it is.
I mean, they have to
No,
come.
there's somebody there. 2 viewers now.
That's probably Sonia and Annalie.
Yeah.
I'm muted, so it doesn't do the stupid audio. Oh, Annalie.
There we go.
Perfect.
Yes. Hello. Hey.
How are you?
Yeah. Finally.
So I think there's one more student who's joining us in just a couple of minutes here. Is Sonia going to join us?
Yeah,
as well?
Sonia is working on it.
Okay, great. It was really funny because we could already see and hear you. Yeah, you we were really. And we were like waving and doing cool dances, but no one was responding. So.
That's all right. Well, I guess before we begin, I just want to show you the view we've got today. Oh, Lars has got it there.
Wait, can I?
Wait, how do? Okay.
I need to make him full screen. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Those are
Here,
just
we see that.
Lars. You got to tilt it up a bit.
A bit?
Yeah, there we go.
Good?
More.
Further up.
Yeah. Although those are nice houses too.
Is this snow? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm from the Netherlands, so.
That's mountains only. Look at the hill.
Oh, this looks really nice.
Yeah, it's nice to see all of you. Oh, is someone joining you? So maybe we'll start on this side by just doing some introductions. It sounds like you guys have met Lars, but I don't know if you've met the other 2 who are joining us here. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Paulina. I graduated in 2014 in Maastricht, and I just started here with Lars.
Yeah, so she's my co-year, basically. And she's German.
You forget.
Who are you?
Nice meeting you.
Hi.
My name is Cello. I'm from Canada, from Vancouver, and I went to UWC Costa Rica, graduated 2012, and I'm in my 3rd year at Quest.
Great.
Okay.
She's all. Can you pass me the laptop? I'm just gonna have a look whether it's on your line.
So I thought maybe to begin with, I would ask them a couple of questions here and just have them sort of answer some general questions. And then maybe if you guys have any questions, you can ask them as well. How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So maybe each of you can just say really briefly why you chose Quest over other options. Does that sound briefly?
Okay, I think we should start before he starts his monologue.
Do you want to start, Paulina?
Sure. So for me, what was attractive about Quest was the block plan and how specific the education program is. So to be able to really go deep into one subject in comparison to the IB, where you have so many different subjects at once, and you get like certain weeks where you have so many deadlines, but other weeks that are just nothing, and it's just really unbalanced. Well, here at Quest, I would say it's more balanced because you only have one course at a time. The teacher knows how much workload you have, so they kind of balance how much you have in that week and how much in that week. So it's not one pressure in only 1 week and then nothing. Well, they can also kind of adapt it. So, for example, if the class is struggling with the workload, they can reduce it. Well, if it's not enough, they can increase it. So there's that flexibility that I really like. Well, also being a really small university, which coming from UWC, I felt like I really needed that.
Can I ask a quick question about this?
I definitely chose Quest because of the small class sizes. 20 student max was really appealing to me. And on top of that, when I'm looking at the Quest curriculum, I felt that it was more academically rigorous than some of the other small schools that I had been looking at. And so it had a really high academic standard while also having this holistic learning model, which really appealed to me.
So for me, I mean, you know my story quite a bit, I guess, because you have, especially, right? No. Anyway, so simply that I knew that I don't want to go to a traditional university, and I wanted to have the freedom to learn really what I wanted to learn, sort of what I'm interested in, and really explore all the possibilities, having the flexibility that you get here in Quest. Yeah, I'm not going to go for a long monologue this time.
Maybe I'm going to add, it was also a new school, which my UWC was really new, and I realized I could change a lot of the aspects of the institution and practice taking leadership roles, because it's a new school, there's a lot of opportunities to start projects. There's not a really entrenched tradition, so that was also appealing.
That's a good point.
And do you feel like you've been able to do that so far?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Any examples? Or
Yeah, there's like certain. Well, one of my projects that was, I guess, the biggest kind of like landscaping change was in my first year took a class where we had to design a sustainability project on campus, and so we have a small garden here on campus, and my project was to plant a fruit orchard, an apple orchard. And so by my second year, we had the trees in, and the third year, we're finishing up like the fence and infrastructure. But the flexibility of the space can really accommodate anything that you want to see. And everybody is like, all the faculty and staff are very easy to talk to and accessible, so you can get the projects that you want done relatively quickly because you can actually go face to face and talk with everybody.
Maybe anything that was different than you thought it might be when you arrived at Quest? We work a lot in my office with just talking with students, of course, and telling them what Quest is all about, but also conveying that Quest isn't utopia, and it's a place where student effort is really important, and it's what keeps this, not keeps this university running, but makes the university experience what it is. So yeah.
So for example, one of the things again connects to what Cello just said, and that's the fact that this is really new. And I didn't realize that much before coming here. So there are actually many things that being worked on, but that's again a huge opportunity for you as a student to actually get it done and get the experience with it. So for example, for myself, after coming here, I started working for the admissions office as well, and started working on the promotion. But then I realized very soon that I don't really have the actual brand formulated, something that you could really strongly in UWC, you would have the mission statement, very clearly formulated what this is about. And Quest had the provisional mission statement, but doesn't have anything final yet. So as it works in Quest, I just talked to the person who's running admissions, and then she immediately got me in touch with the president of the university. And in a few weeks, I got to actually work on the whole mission statement of the university and what the school is actually going to be about in the upcoming years. So I'm going to be doing that in the next semester with like a group of with the faculty members, etc. So it goes really quickly. And it's very flexible, but at the same time, those are like elements of the school that are still lacking. And it's also because the school is very new and still it's growing very much. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything to add, Paulina? Is there a question there?
Yes. Yeah, is like a big part of the student body like active in improving the university, or like project like this, or?
Is it only few of them?
No, totally. It's actually, I would say after all, it's almost every student is doing a part of that, because there are so many parts that are still missing. So even if you do like a small initiative, let's say for the athletes somewhere, it's going to really improve the experience for a big part of the university. So after all, like most of the student body is very engaged. And even though they might be doing a small thing, it can have a huge impact on the whole student body.
I think that's a really important point. Not every student is going to come in and write the mission statement or complete or something like that. But it's it's the innovations are ongoing here, and they're big and small, and they're equally important. So yeah.
I guess related to this topic, and it's just been an interesting challenge, is that when there is an issue that strikes a chord, the community is so small that everybody's talking about it, and there's really no escape. So sometimes issues can become kind of snowballed, and it's kind of a task for every individual in the community to be kind of responsible for the conversations that are happening and make sure that it's not getting too personal, and we're talking really about the issues that are pertinent to the school and not just about like gossiping, right? But because it's so small, the school like issues and the social side of things kind of can get blurred, which it can be a little bit difficult.
Absolutely.
And that's something you will see with Quest if you actually come here. That's very different to a traditional university, is that you actually get to know most of the student population, at least by face. So after one semester that we have been here with Paulina, I can quite confidently say that I would recognize most of the student population. Like if I meet them on the street in Vancouver, I know that that person is going to Quest. And then there is a big part of them that you also know by name, and you actually get to talk to them. So it's very, very connected, similarly to UWC in that sense, where you also like know everyone in the school.
And because of the small class sizes, it's also really nice because every block, so every 3.5 weeks, you get to know 20 new people or 19 new people, right? And you work so deeply with them that you can, with each month, get to know more and more people. Well, in other courses or in other universities where you have like a semester, one course, you might get to know certain people in that course, but not as deeply and as more and more than at Quest, I would say.
Yeah. So Lars and Paulina obviously haven't chosen their questions yet, but Cello, do you have a question, or can you talk about the things that you're studying?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. My question is, how do people become parents? After graduating UWC, would you like me to repeat?
How do people become parents?
Parents,
Is it
yeah.
how do people become parents?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's Sonia.
Yeah.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
Sonia.
Ah, Sonia, hello.
Oh yeah, they met in Prague.
Okay, maybe I'll quickly sum. So I already had a vision of going into midwifery and like birth work and parenting work, but the flexibility of Quest has allowed me to tailor my degree to something that really facilitates me getting into a grad program in midwifery, whereas other students would have to go through nursing or something else. Like this, I can get a liberal arts education and really have fun with my undergrad while still being able to apply to postgrad or like whatever, like master's and secondary undergrad programs, which is really cool. The question program is really, like, I think amazing because it means that you can do what you want while you're here.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just wondering, do questions change a lot over time? Or is there like a point that you're like, okay, this is gonna be my question and I will stick to it? Or like how? Yeah.
If you can even change it once or
So
twice.
in my experience, oftentimes students play with the wording of the questions quite a bit. But more important at the end of the day than the question itself is the classes and the readings and the experiences that the question contains. There's a point up to which you can change a lot of those classes or experiences. If you have sort of an epiphany in a class and you want to change your direction, that's possible. But there's also a point past which it becomes very impractical and probably expensive to do that because you'll be taking more credits than you would have been doing before. Yeah. Any comments here for that?
But it's often that you ask, like, what's your question? And they're like, yeah, it's something along the lines, blah, 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 because they don't have the question defined and it slightly changes over time, always, I guess. And so it's more like a general sense or topic or an idea that they're studying. But it's also a great sort of just a community bonding experience, especially in the beginning when you come to Quest. You can always ask a student, like, what's your question? And talking about it like for hours, you know. So first of all, be a bit careful about that when you ask that, because it can go for a very long time. But at the same time, it's a great way how to actually get to know the people and get to know what they're really passionate about, what their lives, etc., etc. So that's really interesting part of Quest and the way it's structured.
The chief academic officer here at Quest says it really well. He talks about the question being a way to have learning unfold as a conversation with a topic. So we want students to be able to go into a class, maybe it's an economics class, and it changes their perspective on their question, and then maybe some of the courses that they take later down the line will change because of this new lens or new vision of the topic. So flexibility is to an extent built into the program. We want students to be able to have that conversation with their question. But at the same time, you don't want to swing completely in your third year from pure philosophy to wanting to do biotech. It's going to be a hard get all of the credits in for your next step. Yeah. Any more questions out there? Sonia, any questions?
No. I don't think so.
Sonia will get the proper Quest massage over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, we have some like, we have some general questions prepared, but maybe we can ask it in the end. I don't know if you have like some.
Yeah.
I
really like listening to your stories as well.
So. I guess maybe from you two who have been here just for a semester, has there been any highlights so far? Maybe academic or non-academic highlights of the first semester?
I think for me, my last course, so it was a course called Fabric of Reality, where the two of us were in, and it was about.
What was it called?
Fabric of Reality. It's like it was a culture course, so it was about Greek culture, and I think it was interesting for me, and I heard the teacher was good, so I chose it. But it's not a topic where I'm like super enthusiastic about. But after it, I'm so happy I took the course. It was just amazing, and I'm just like into Greek philosophy now. And just the way the book is built up and how deep you go into what you read and what you discuss makes you so happy and so wanting to know more about it, even if it's not your main point of interest.
Yeah, I think Fabric of Reality is actually a great example because for myself it's a good highlight of the whole semester as well. It was a very intense course, and something that happens I think with course in Quest a lot is that it literally cuts you in, right? It's not like in any system where you are told now you're gonna do math for an hour and in an hour stop thinking about it, now you're gonna do literature for another hour. But you're literally in the course for a month and you have the freedom and the time and the space to think just about that and connect it with whatever you want. And despite the fact it was quite focused on Greek philosophy and ancient literature, etc., it's still not a course that would be just one way. You know, it would be not just philosophy, but it would be really that within the month you touch on things from many different disciplines, and you can really connect it to whatever you are interested in. You get a lot of space within the course as well, but it's literally you for that month. And it almost feels that people change in here from month to month, depending what course they're doing. Because, you know, one
That's
month,
really cool.
and they're like, yeah, I'm doing music and improvisation now a lot, and, you know, I really like this type of music, and I'm listening to this right now. And then the next month, you meet them, and they're like, yeah, I think the opportunity cost and, you know, the externalities of going to this event are too high, so I'm not going to go. You know, like the way they think, what they do, what they're interested in really changes from month to month, and you will see that they are really engaged with what they're doing in that given block. So that's really interesting. But it can be also dangerous, you know, in terms of like the intensity, because your parents might be wondering, like, what's happening with you? A different person this month and doing completely different things. But you will learn a lot, like changing incredibly. Just within the semester, I feel like in comparison to UWC, let's say, the intensity of learning in class is actually much higher.
Okay.
And you know, just I guess a comment on the foundation program. Remember that there's sort of a double purpose to having the foundation program. It's both to build that intellectual toolbox and to practice the processes of mind to be able to look at the world from a whole variety of different angles, and also to think about maybe this is what I want to do. Maybe I want to be a musician improviser, and then the next month thinking, oh, maybe I'd like to be an economist. Really trying out subjects for size and living them for a month at a time.
And you know, that's often what you do when you say, yeah, I'm doing liberal arts and sciences. People are like, oh, so you're basically doing something like high school, but always again. And in fact, it's actually really interesting. It's true that you have this foundation program for the first 1.5 to 2 years that you have to do, right? Where you really have the courses from different fields. But it's not like high school at all. First of all, because it's a block program, so you actually get the space to do it really in detail. But it's not as high school at all because of the setting. Because you actually have a really good professor who has been doing that all their life, and they really know what they're talking about. You have the space and time to get really in depth within that subject. And personally, I enjoy that a lot because if I didn't have this program, I didn't. There would be many fields I would never have learned about. So let's say economics, right? You have economics everywhere. You have the structures of society, and even
we cannot really hear you well.
Yeah, our Wi-Fi is really bad. So.
Really loud. Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes.
Yes, it's way better.
Okay, cool. So what I was saying is that after all, you have to have a sort of general knowledge as an educated person in any field. So even as a doctor, you could have sort of field of, let's say, how certain policies or taxes might influence the patients that they are taking care of, and why all of a sudden your patients might not have the money to afford your care, right? So it's all interconnected, and many of the real-world problems are very multidisciplinary. And in that sense, going into liberal arts education is really interesting. That foundation was badly and give sort of general view. But then after that, you actually have the opportunity to really know and say, yeah, I actually had really wide variety of information and experiences that now allow me to make a really informed choice in what I want to do in my life. and what do I want to dedicate my next 30 years of studying or even longer. You know, what do I want my focus to be?
In addition, I found when engaging with conversation with students from other disciplines, like who go to other schools, they're in maybe a psychology major, and I'm not doing a psychology major, but I can still engage with them and carry on a really intelligent conversation with people from many different regions from other schools. So you can actually like talk more intelligently in more areas by the time you're done.
So, Paulina, what class are you in right now? Hello?
Neuropsychology.
Yeah, the variety of classes is actually quite crazy because often it's like, really, when you're choosing your classes for the next block, it takes a lot of time because you're like, there's so many interesting things and I want to do all of them at once, but you cannot, so you have to sort of prioritize, but like the choice of classes it's quite overwhelming sometimes, but it's also really amazing because you get really high variety of it.
Maybe we'll talk about some of the general questions that you folks had out there.
We have a quite
our
funny
questions.
question, so I think more than
The first question, it's mainly related to the situation we're in right now, is are we going to get enough sleep?
Totally. I mean, it really depends on your own prioritizing. So there are many people. No. There are like many people who are like, yeah, I am gonna get 8 hours of sleep, and they really do. So many of my friends would be like, okay, it's 10 p.m. I'm going to bed, and they actually do, and they get the sleep if they want to. At the same time, if you're like myself, Paulina, or Cello, right, you don't get 8 hours of sleep. You end up somewhere on 6 or 7 if you're lucky.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's sort of a fair trade-off because you really do the stuff that you're interested in, and then usually you have the weekends off. So usually over the weekend you have the chance to get some sleep, and then of course at the end of every month you have the block break. So that's 4 days when you can be like, I'm getting off the campus, or I'm just gonna stay here and sleep and really get my rest or really relax. So you have always those 4 days after the month where you can recharge, and usually that helps a lot. That's a great way how to come to the new course really with a lot of energy and really feel like, yeah, I want to do this again.
I remember the IB program, like even summer there was no break, right? Like you have to work on your ED, like the IAs are still there, like everything is always there, always. With the block program, at least, yeah, you get to sleep once, and then it's like alternative catch up when you can.
And also there are courses that are harder and some that are easier. So you might take a really, really challenging course where you're completely like dead and you sleep only 5 hours. But then after that you can plan to take or an easy one where you sleep for 9 hours, really recharged. And because of the block plan, you can kind of build your system that sometimes it's challenging, then you have a easier, and that is not overwhelming for a whole semester.
And also within the month too, some courses have maybe they're front loaded. So for the first week, it's very intense, and you're building up a sort of a body of knowledge so that the remainder of the block you can have enlightened conversations. Other classes might be really big towards the end of the month. It's not necessarily consistent.
It depends on also how many things do you want to do outside of class. So usually if you just cancel for that month whatever you have been doing before, and you have a really easy class or even really difficult class, you still would get the amount of people. There's always a actually get that.
Good question.
Here you go.
we want day of a student. If you have some description of like, for example, what did you do on Friday or Thursday last week?
So it depends really a lot, like what. It really depends what block are you in. So, so usually you would have either a morning class or an afternoon class, and that really then defines your day. and how are you going to spend it. So there are different types of days that different people might have. We can just give various examples. But usually, for example, I have a morning class right now, so I wake up at 8:55. I realize I'm late to class. I will run up the hill. I make it to class like right on time, so it's great. I don't have to dance in front of everyone because I was late.
That's a punishment.
Yeah. And then of course you have lunch at 12, so you would have like an hour of free time where you get lunch, you meet everyone in the cafeteria, you enjoy the view in the mountains, and then you have the afternoon. Usually you would have, let's say, 4, 5, 6 hours of sort of independent work or group work that you would do for class the next day. And then it depends whether you procrastinate the whole afternoon or you're doing something else. And then either you have the evening free and you can do anything you want, or you spend the evening or homework as well. It depends.
What do you guys do on Friday?
This Friday was particularly crazy, and maybe I was just helping lots of stuff, but this Friday we had Questival, which was like a fancy dress, like group dinner. You have dinner with all the people who live on the same floor as you, and then after that you like kind of mingle with faculty and take pictures, and there's a band and music. So that was on the Friday, and then on the Saturday there was also an all-day queer arts event. So that was like student-led, student art. So that required a lot of setup, and so my weekend this weekend was a lot of like setting up and taking down event stuff, but at the same time I think it was really enjoyable to also like hang out and eat with people at the end of the term and really enjoy the season as it is.
Or another example of like an interesting quest day would be my roommate who's really into skiing. So he has an afternoon class. He gets up at 7 a.m., takes his skis, he drives up to Whistler, which is like 45 minutes away, right? An hour. And he just skis for the whole morning and then gets to class at the afternoon.
I love afternoon class.
Yeah.
So good.
So yes.
Students have been known to petition faculty to change from a morning class to an afternoon class during the winter.
On that note, I have my afternoon class and I have to leave,
yeah.
but I will see you and enjoy the rest of the webinar.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
So yeah. Do you want to move in? Right?
Sure, I'll bring it back to you. Getting all close.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any questions out there?
I also had like some sort of general question. I just is there anything sort of the code of conduct, like anything similar in terms of rules in the school? Like how is that like?
So yeah, we're gonna
go
talk about it, right? So if we compare it to UWC, of course, there's really nothing like that. To be honest, like not as strict as in UWC, of course. So this is a university, so you have the freedom of an adult to do almost anything you want. So like the differences are right and anything.
I don't want to get misunderstood, but the code of conduct was quite annoying.
Yeah,
I mean, there were many things that.
You can stay outside of your room and your building as long as you want. There's no check-in. There's no check-in. There's no one checking on you.
Not gonna wake you up.
The same with alcohol. You can drink in your rooms. You cannot smoke in your room. You have to go to design smoking
Yeah,
place.
well, that makes sense.
You're not allowed to do drugs, though.
No.
So drugs are a bit problematic.
Yeah, I mean, if it's illegal, if it's illegal in Canada, it's still illegal on campus. So
yeah.
Drinking underage, for example, isn't allowed. But also, nobody's knocking. There's no room checks.
Yeah. You don't have. So you don't have like how do we call it in UWC? House parents. You don't have house parents. You have floor reps. So floor reps are students on the floor who sort of they have the family sort of support function, but at the same time they're not there to check on you and they're not there to control and police anyone.
But then again, there are village advisors, so in each residence there's a staff member who lives there, but they're not there to really control you, but rather sometimes host an event, get to know you, and see that probably the building doesn't burn down.
Yeah.
Like, it's really like emergency.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And the cool thing about the floor reps too, the students who live on each floor, they're elected by the student body. They're democratically elected each year. So they're not getting paid huge amounts of money to be the bad guys. They don't really have any punitive power. Their main focus is building strong communities on floors, with the hope that stronger communities will respect the people within that community.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I had one more question. I don't know if it really applies, but so in Mostar we're really having like problems, but it's always been an issue how we integrate into like the local community and how we like interact, blah blah blah. Do you, for example, have friends from Vancouver that you made, or do you feel like integration is an important part of Quest, or like I don't know, like
is it even
idea?
one of your like goals, what you want to do, or is it just, like,
And especially now with the new president, it's one of the sort of main goals for Quest to kind of get in touch with the community in Squamish, but also get in touch with the native community, and because the land of the university is a former tribal area.
Yeah.
Is it still?
I mean, it still belongs.
Okay.
Unceded.
Unceded. Anyway, so there is a lot of efforts to actually get in touch with the community over here and really provide value to the people who live in the town nearby. But at the same time, you asked about Vancouver. Many students from the school are from Vancouver, so there are always many options how to get down to Vancouver, and there are many people always willing to drive you as well, and many people would go on the weekend. And yeah, like I have done it, for example, personally a few times, that I went and stayed in the house of one of my friends over the weekend. You know, we went to UBC, we met up with like UWC people, and that's really easy. So that's also a really nice part of the experience, that on one hand you are in the middle of nature, right? Like you have beautiful forests right next to school where you can go running, but at the same time, if you want to have the busy city life, it takes you like half an hour, 40 minutes by car to get down to Vancouver and really be in one of the biggest cities.
And going back to women's Squamish, so for example, I do volunteering with a girls group, so it's empowering little girls. They're between 10 and 11 years old, and so in that way, Quest supports it because they build those volunteer connections as well, and people who are volunteering there with me are girls, like older girls as well from Squamish. So over that connection, I get to know them as well. And then as well, Quest has a host family program. So I don't know if you have that in your UWC.
No, we don't.
Okay. So how it works here is that international students can sign up for it, and it's not with staying overnight, but it's just you meet once a month. So there's kind of a requirement to meet once a month at least, and you just hang out with them. So my host family, for example, they live quite far away, so they picked me up here, and then once we went to a horse barn, and we decorated the barn for Halloween. We made a haunted house, and then after that we had a nice dinner. The second time they took me horse riding because they have horses and ponies. And I'm going to go hiking with them. They might take me skiing. So it's just to build up that connection with the family that lives in Squamish. And then there are other volunteer programs, but also other organizations that connect. So there was one dinner, a reconciliation dinner. So it was where the local community invited people to come. And it was hosted by the First Nations in Squamish. And so it's kind of both sides are trying to connect with each other.
I think one thing that's important to note about the connection with the community is some students spend 99% of their time on campus. And one of the areas where the university is still improving and needs to improve is transportation between the campus here and the town of Squamish. I think that's a fair point to say. There's a lot of sort of action being taken in that regard. A bike co-op is in the works, ride sharing, increased public transportation. But as with most things at Quest, it's up to students to kind of capitalize on these opportunities. There's lots of opportunities to get engaged with the community, both through events that are facilitated by the university and just individually doing outreach and research. So yeah, just something to keep in mind.
The good advice might be if you end up deciding to go to Quest, it's definitely worth it to get a driver's license done if you have the opportunity to do so, because there are many people on campus who have cars, and they're always happy to lend cars out to students to get downtown. And so just having the driver's license really helps a lot.
Because is it 18 plus in Canada for driving?
It's a 3-tiered system that starts when students are 16, but generally they have a full license by the time they're 18 or 19. Yeah.
Okay, so because for example I have my driving license already, so I can just transfer it into an international one and then it's fine.
You need like a special
okay,
bit,
yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Did you have any more questions?
Cool.
No.
Any other questions?
So,
Any
yeah,
other questions?
do you have any more?
No, I don't think so.
Everything
Any
clear?
last words from you?
I think one thing that I found amazing here is as well how many people are involved. So with volunteering as well, like coming from UWC with the service with each week, I was a little bit afraid that I wouldn't be able to keep up with that anymore. But there's so many volunteer opportunities. So if you want to, you can do it. If you don't have to. And there are a lot of opportunities as well to do it like once or twice. So you don't have to commit to the weekly, but you can go whenever you have time. Well, some other ones are weekly or monthly or so. And people are willing to build up new volunteering things. And I found amazing how much people here in the community do it as well.
Any last words from you?
Yeah, I mean, from my side, it's simply that I'm happy to continue this conversation anytime. So if you have any more questions or there is something that strikes you later on, like I'm always happy to like about it. So if you feel like hey, we can have a Skype or Google Hangout later on or Skype or whatever it is, or you can just message me on Facebook, send me an email, and yeah.
And you, of course, all know how to get a hold of me as well. Sometimes it's I think, so much better to hear the student perspective, but there's some things that you don't do. So for everything else, there's Brad, like the MasterCard ad. Yeah. I guess just thanks for coming and hanging out with us here today. I wonder if we can do one more time there. Let's see.
Really nice.
That's
So
nice.
we actually can show you sort of, you
yeah.
can see the campus from here. So you actually see the cafeteria. So that's the cafeteria building. You see like, you can sit outside there as well and have your lunch, whatever. And then you always have the view of the mountains. So down there in the back, you can see the mountain, that's Whistler. That's where everyone goes skiing. And then down here, that's the volcano. That's a view of Squamish down there.
And you can almost see the cheese that way.
No, you cannot.
That's cool. Arno is also listening.
Oh, he is.
Oh, it's Arno. Okay, then I could have sent him a link. Wait, maybe he has some more.
Because he said he can't connect, but he's listening.
Okay, then wait. I'm gonna send him the link. There's some more questions. I have time, so we can talk.
Yeah, I have to go because I have class. But thank you very much. It was really cool.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thursday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, and happy birthday, Paulina.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Bye.
Bye. Adios.
So I think Arno is joining us for a moment here. This is my first time at least using the Google Hangouts with the big group, so sorry for the complications. We'll be really good at it.
You missed out our dancers.
And we saw you in a really dedicated and focused moment. Trying to fix the hangout.
Oh, here he is.
Hi, Arno.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been listening since the beginning. It's just with my UWC account, I can't access it. The school blocked it. So I heard all your questions, and it seems great. I do not have any other questions to add, except, and I would like to say thank you to all of you for links for us. And for me, it's all set. My mind is on it. So thank you.
Perfect. What about the others? Where are all the lazy people in Maastricht not joining this hangout?
I can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear us now? Hello, hello, hello. No. Hey, Arno. Can you hear us? Megan,
No, okay. Well, we'll leave it there. Yeah. Thanks again, everyone.
Moncha, you will have to message me.
Huh?
You will have to message me later on and tell me how was the selection process.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was really, really interesting. I found myself in a really funny and challenging position at the same time.
Okay.
I will let you know. No, I think,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks for organizing this. I think
really
it's cool
nice.
to like talk to people in person.
Absolutely.
Stay in touch.
And we'll do something similar in the new year as well for yourselves if you want to join again, and for the other students who weren't able to make it, because I know it's a crazy time of the year. So thanks for taking the time. I know it's getting late there too. So yeah.
Yeah, cool.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
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 Awesome.
Cool, Arno. His microphone is turned off.
Oh, that's what it is.